Right beside me here, Ben Collins. He is a retired Green Beret. Ben, we have been talking, watching this absolutely horrific, unprecedented coverage, as my colleague in London, Benjamin Hall, was just saying. As a Green Beret in this kind of situation, what would you be doing? What would you be telling your team to do?
Certainly. Well, I mean, I think what we're seeing here, it's coordinated for a reason, because what they've done is effectively they've separated the command and control elements for the Paris national security. So
it's harder for emergency response for their own police force to respond.
So there's now you have first responders, just the police. You also have to have medical care. You also now have a counterterrorism team that's getting stood up. You're bringing in, essentially their national security team. They have 3 different spots now that they actually have to start making decisions, moving pieces. They have an ongoing hostage situation. Hostage situations are extremely complex. They're trying to figure out everything they can about the building, what's going on inside the building, what's around the building. They have to make a determination. How committed are they? Do we go in now? Do we wait? These are all things that to me, looking at this, yes, it's a very it's obviously been coordinated, but as far as complex, I think that's something that we have to take into account. I mean, these people were able to move experts, they were able to move explosives, they were able to move guns, and in today's environment over there right now, with the refugee crisis, with crime the way it is, and there's no border controls, so people were able to move fairly easy.
So, Ben, you heard my colleague Benjamin Hall from London say some reports that there's a suicide attack, there are grenades, there are vests. That is to say, as you have rightly pointed out, this has been planned. It's also not over, but it is clearly planned. Somebody gave a go signal, and here we are.
It's definitely been planned. And, you look at the concert. So concerts, they definitely planned to how to assault into the concert and into the theater. They have planned the bombs that were outside the stadium. It takes time. It takes time to move those explosives. It takes time to build a bomb. It takes experts to build a bomb. Now, we can do a lot of that. They can do a lot of it online. These people are experts at moving expertise across the internet. Absolutely.
Remotely, via Skype.
Absolutely. They certainly could. And look, let's be honest. It does not take that much to find an AK-47 in the streets of Europe, for not a whole lot of money. Where there's crime, you're going to find weapons and ability. So, Ben also brought up the fact that, look what this pushed out of our news cycle. Right, all day we've been talking about.
I'll ask you about that because you said it, and then Benjamin Hall mentioned that from London. Apparently, a U.S. strike killed the person that we understand, Jihadi John, who was featured in all those horrific beheading videos in Syria, known to have killed innocent Americans, journalists and otherwise, innocent British citizens, UK citizens, and an innocent Japanese person.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was the master propagandist of a master organization that understands propaganda and media coverage. All day today, the story has been 2 stories, as a matter of fact. 1, the fact that we killed Jihadi John, and 2, Siraj, which is a town in Iraq that the Kurds successfully took back from ISIS. So if I'm thinking like an ISIS commander and I'm watching my recruitment, or I'm watching the message of my success, I had 2 hits today. I tell you, I would have picked up the phone and said, look, I know we have people in place, we have weapons in place, we have suicide vests in place. If there's a plan, let's execute. Now, that is supposition, but the timing of it to me is...
Unfortunately, it makes sense. How long, I heard you say, but this to me does seem like a complicated attack. So all these pieces had to have been in place, and then, to your point, waiting for a day when perhaps the terrorists don't like the news cycle.
Certainly, and I'll tell you, we have seen a shift, right? I mean, we've just been talking about the plane explosion in Egypt. If that was an ISIS or an ISIS affiliate, that's a change in their strategy. These kind of very well coordinated, dramatic attacks are the hallmarks of Al-Qaeda. Right, because Al-Qaeda showed that they had the patience and the ability to move material, to plan these complex.
9/11?
Yeah, 9/11, and even they talked about whether it was Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula that had inspired and helped train perhaps the one at the Charlie Hebdo. That has the strike of it. If this is an ISIS-related incident, as we just were discussing, again, it shows a very distinct shift in strategy and something that we might unfortunately start seeing more of.
So, Ben, I want to ask you what is, to me, a scary question. There are all these people still inside this theater right now. In the 10th district, between 60 and 100 hostages. I know from our colleagues in Sky News, that 2 gunmen have been cited. As a Green Beret, if you're in charge of getting these people out, what do you do?
Look, I think like I said before, the hostage situation and taking hostages back is one of the most complex operations that somebody has to plan. One of the big things that is an unknown are what are the intentions of the hostage takers. I don't think anybody watching this right now doubts what the intentions of the hostage takers are. They're willing to kill. So personally, watching this, given more time, I would take the building.
Stay with me. Ben Collins with me there.